Since dropping his debut album Trap House back in 2005, Roderick Deontay Davis, better known as Gucci Mane, has been one of the most influential names in hip-hop. But behind the fame, things weren't always flashy. He did serious time behind bars and faced a tough battle with substance abuse. Everything changed when he crossed paths with entrepreneur Keyshia Kaoir, and from that moment, his life took a wild turn. When you think of power couples, nobody shines quite like Gucci and Keyshia. They've built this picture-perfect, diamond-dripping image, posing in their mega mansion, rolling through the city in their Rolls Royces, and posting anniversary pics that look like luxury ad campaigns. But behind all that sparkle, things aren't as smooth as they seem. Fans have started noticing cracks in their fairy tale, a mix of romance, branding, and maybe even some mind games. It's like their love story doubles as a business plan. To really understand how deep this goes, let's rewind to 2008, when Gucci got locked up for violating probation. As his 2010 release got closer, he was already planning his big comeback, even shooting music videos while still behind bars. One day, while flipping through an issue of XXL magazine, something, or rather someone, caught his eye. He spotted the magazine's eye candy of the year and instantly recognized her from Timbaland and Drake's Say Something music video. Gucci couldn't get her out of his head. He picked up the phone and told his manager to do whatever it takes to find her. That mystery woman? None other than Keyshia Kaoir, the one who'd soon change his entire world. Gucci's manager hit up Keyshia, telling her the rapper really wanted her in his new video. But Keyshia wasn't impressed at first. She told the New York Post she didn't want to be around rappers at that time. She had her own thing going on and wasn't looking to mix business with that kind of drama. But the manager just wouldn't quit calling. And after a while, Keyshia finally gave in and said yes. When Gucci got released, he wasted no time. He had Keyshia flown out from Miami to Atlanta the day before her shoot. Gucci was in full work mode, filming back-to-back videos, but the second he found out Keyshia had landed, he told his manager, bring her to the set now. In his autobiography, he later admitted those XXL photos didn't come close to showing how stunning she was in person. He thought she was absolutely gorgeous. He asked her to hang around until he wrapped shooting, but Keyshia kept it classy. She told him she'd see him the next day for her official scene in 911 emergency. That move right there made Gucci even more obsessed. He wrote that her confidence and boundaries drove him crazy, in a good way. When Keyshia showed up the next day, they knocked out the shoot, and afterward, Gucci practically begged her to stay an extra night in Atlanta so he could take her out to dinner. She finally said yes, and that dinner marked the start of something wild. But let's be real, it wasn't a fairy tale from the jump. They came from totally different worlds. Keyshia was a mom of 3, focused and grounded, not into the wild party life. Gucci, though, was living like a rock star, fast, flashy, and deep in the lifestyle. Wanting to impress her, he looked her straight in the face and lied, saying he'd quit drinking. No matter how complicated things were, one thing was clear. Gucci and Keyshia were really feeling each other. She started joining him on the road, and as she told Page Six, that's when things started getting real. One night, she helped him unwind after a long day. She put him in the shower and bathed him herself. She said it wasn't anything strange to her. Growing up in a traditional Jamaican home, taking care of her man was something she'd seen her whole life. But for Gucci, that moment hit different. He looked at her and said, "Wow, no one has ever bathed me before." That simple act meant the world to him. After the tour wrapped up, Keyshia shifted her focus back to building her cosmetics and fitness brand, while Gucci started to spiral. His mental health was slipping fast. Fights kept breaking out, and then came that infamous 2013 Twitter meltdown where he went off on everybody, friends, enemies, and even Keyshia. He didn't stop there. He even bragged about the women he'd been with in the industry. Things took a dark turn when he got arrested again after police caught him with a gun and a bag of illegal substances during a mental health breakdown. Most women would have walked away right then, but not Keyshia. She stood by him even when things looked hopeless.
Still, it wasn't easy. She couldn't even bail him out because all of his collect calls had sent her phone bill through the roof. Gucci stayed locked up until his August 2014 trial, where he ended up taking a plea deal and got sentenced to 39 months behind bars. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, he caught another conviction, this one for a 2013 party incident where he hit a fan with a vodka bottle. That extra charge tacked on 3 more years, running right alongside his other sentence. Now, come on, why'd he waste the vodka like that? That's the real crime here. You know how many lemon drops that could have made? Anyway, while Gucci was sent off to a federal facility, Keyshia stayed holding it down in their Atlanta mansion like a boss. Before he left, Gucci reportedly handed her $2 million to invest. And what did she do? She flipped it into $6 million. Talk about turning pressure into power. But Keyshia wasn't just running her beauty and fitness empire. She was managing his whole life from the outside. She told the Fader that she and Gucci kept in constant contact, emailing nonstop and talking on the phone 5 or 6 times a day. She even had him on a full schedule. They'd work out, shower, and eat lunch at the same time every day. Gucci took it seriously too. He'd call her to report what he'd eaten, making sure he was sticking to their new clean and healthy lifestyle. According to his autobiography, he went through a brutal withdrawal from lean, dropping 25 pounds in just 2 weeks. That man was in pain, but he stayed committed. He wanted Keyshia to see a brand new version of him when he finally got out. He promised himself he'd never go back to prison again. When he was released in 2016, Gucci was a whole different person, leaner, clearer, and focused. But instead of jumping straight back into chaos, he was placed on home confinement to keep him from falling back into old habits. Keyshia told the Fader that their days were fully mapped out. No wasted time, no distractions. They'd wake up around 9, handle their calls and business emails, then hit their workouts hard before grinding all day. Dinner, shower, and straight to bed. No late night drama, no club hopping, none of that. Keyshia said the days of Gucci hanging in the studio until 6 or 7 a.m. were done for good. Those places were full of smoke, drinks, and temptation. Now, it was all discipline, focus, and that power couple grind. Some might say Keyshia ran things a little too tight. Like, come on, that's a lot of structure for a grown man. But for Gucci, it was exactly what he needed. Growing up in Bessemer, Alabama, before moving to Atlanta, his childhood was filled with chaos. No real stability, just survival. The streets became his classroom, and destruction was the only lesson that stuck. By the time fame came knocking, Gucci had already built walls around himself. He trusted nobody and numbed every bit of pain any way he could. So when Keyshia came into the picture with that calm energy and solid routine, it hit something deep in him, something that had been broken for years. For the first time, he had someone who made life feel steady and safe, not wild and unpredictable. It was the kind of peace he'd never really known, the kind that quiets the noise instead of adding more chaos. But let's talk about the real elephant in the room. Keyshia and Gucci's love might not be as simple as it looks. Their relationship has all the signs of a trauma bond. Gucci's unstable upbringing mixed with Keyshia's natural urge to nurture created a powerful, complicated connection. Her taking care of him probably triggered his need for control and safety, while for her, being the one who held him down through the storm made her feel needed and valued. When someone helps pull you out of your darkest place, the line between love and obligation gets blurry. Keyshia wasn't just his ride or die. She became living proof that he could change, that redemption was real. And Gucci wasn't just her husband. He was the mission that tested her strength and patience. Even though they've both evolved and leveled up, their bond still carries the echoes of that shared pain, a mix of pride, healing, and the belief that love can fix the scars therapy couldn't reach. In November 2016, Gucci went all out and proposed to Keyshia right in front of a packed crowd at halftime at an Atlanta Hawks game. Talk about a show-stopping moment. Less than a year later, in October 2017, They tied the knot in a massive $1.7 million televised wedding called The Main Event. Cameras, diamonds, designer fits, everything screamed luxury. But not everyone was impressed. Viewers called the ceremony a tacky, over-the-top mess. And honestly, we kind of agree. What really stirred the pot, though, was the timing. While Gucci and Keyshia were showing off their lavish lifestyle, Gucci's baby mama, Sheena Evans, was still struggling to get more child support for their son Keon, who was born way back in 2007. According to The Blast, Sheena was only receiving $2,076 a month in support. And fans thought that number was outrageous, considering how much Gucci was spending on weddings, jewels, and private jets. After a drawn-out legal battle, Gucci finally agreed to up the payments to $10,000 a month, a major jump that made headlines. But Sheena wasn't the only woman throwing shade.
One of Gucci's exes went on Tisha K's platform and claimed she was the one who truly held Gucci down back in the day, not Keyshia.
And I was speaking up about the Keyshia situation and how she's credited for being his ride or die. I'm the real ride or die. I was the one in the trap houses. I was the one that had the work and the guns and all of that stuff back in the day.
That comment alone set social media on fire. Then Gucci made things even hotter when he posted a tribute to Keyshia that had everyone talking. The post showed a photo from their 2017 wedding with the caption that read, "Everyone want this, but what y'all forget was she was with wild Gucci, cheating Gucci, in jail Gucci, publicity with other women Gucci. This is Gucci after therapy and rehabilitation. This is the street man groomed in his 30s after he's been at his lowest point." The message was raw and honest, but fans couldn't decide whether it was romantic or just a messy reminder of his past. Either way, the internet couldn't stop talking about it. The point is, Keyshia's a real one who knew exactly what she was signing up for. But let's be honest, after all the drama this couple's been through, you gon' have to explain to me how anyone calls that goes. On the surface, Gucci's post looked like a sweet love letter, the kind that melts hearts online. But if you read between the lines, that message had layers of manipulation, misplaced praise, and a twisted idea of what love should be. It basically told women that if they want the fairy tale, they better be ready to suffer first. Like, seriously? Since when did struggle become the price of love? It romanticized pain and glorified endurance, turning a woman's patience into proof of her loyalty instead of asking why she had to put up with all that chaos in the first place. Psychologically, that kind of message hits deep for people who've been taught to see love as something you earn by surviving the worst parts of it. And Gucci's followers, especially the women, caught on quick. They saw how it paint this idea that the only way to get a good man is to stick with a bad one until he finally decides to change. That's not love. That's emotional exhaustion dressed up as devotion. It puts all the emotional work, forgiveness, and maturity on the woman while the man gets praised for finally acting right. And the tone of it all, low-key patronizing. It made Keyshia sound more like his nurse or life coach than his wife. Like her job was to fix him instead of stand beside him as an equal. The real irony here is wild. Gucci's post could have been powerful if he'd flipped the message. If he had focused on accountability and growth and partnership instead of turning love into a reward for suffering, the world would have been cheering him on instead of side-eyeing the whole thing. If Gucci had just said, "I was wild, I was wrong, and I became a better man because my wife deserved that," that kind of honesty would have hit so different. But instead, he made it sound like Keyshia earned her happiness through pain, like the struggle was the price she had to pay for her fairy tale. Still, despite all the criticism, their love story kept going strong. Their son, Ice Davis, was born in December 2020, and for a while, everything looked picture perfect. Then out of nowhere, chaos hit the internet again. During a Twitch live stream, DJ Academics decided to stir the pot and brought back an old rumor that Keyshia had been messing around with Yo Gotti while Gucci was locked up. Supposedly, that alleged fling was the root of Gucci and Gotti's long-standing feud. Fans went wild debating whether there was any truth to it. And that wasn't the only rumor flying around. Rick Ross's baby mama, Tia Kemp, also claimed that Keyshia had gotten a little too close to Ross while Gucci was still behind bars. But Keyshia shut that one down fast. She denied everything, calling it straight-up lies. In February 2023, the couple welcomed their daughter, Iceland Davis, adding another layer to their growing empire. Gucci and Keyshia clearly adore their kids. They spoil them with love, gifts, and luxury that most people can only dream of.
But fans couldn't help noticing something strange. Why don't their other kids from previous relationships get the same spotlight? In his track, Married with Millions, Gucci even rapped, "Main priority right now is just ice and Iceland." And while that line sounded like a proud dad moment, it also had people wondering, what about the rest of his family? And that takes us right into 2025, where things got even more revealing. During a joint interview on The Breakfast Club, Gucci dropped a bombshell, sharing that he'd been officially diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. It was a raw, honest moment that showed fans a totally different side of the rapper. Then Keyshia opened up about how she helps manage his mental health behind the scenes and the lengths she goes to protect his privacy. She explained that whenever Gucci starts to spiral, she immediately steps in by deleting all his social media apps. She said, "I delete Instagram, I delete everything. Even if I gotta change his password, I'm changing it because I don't need the public to know he's having an episode." She's learned to spot the signs early, too. She knows it's coming when Gucci suddenly goes quiet and starts sending texts with a period after every single word. Now, what Keyshia does might come from a place of deep love and real concern, but it also puts her in a complicated position. Instead of just being his wife, she's acting more like a handler. She's become the gatekeeper between Gucci and the outside world, shielding his image while constantly keeping tabs on his mental state. That level of control suggests his condition demands strict environmental stability, which, let's be real, has to be emotionally draining for both of them. From a psychological point of view, their situation fits the same pattern they've had for years. Gucci's constant need for stability still ties back to the chaos of his early life, while Keyshia's instinct to nurture gives her both purpose and power. But relationships built around crisis can trap both people in a cycle. The caretaker feels essential, and the one being cared for starts feeling dependent. It's love, loyalty, and survival, all tangled up in one intense bond. The real problem runs deeper than anyone wants to admit. Gucci's whole public image and honestly, his mental stability is sitting squarely on Keyshia's shoulders, and that kind of pressure can't last forever. Love can be caring, supportive, and loyal, but it can't survive if one person has to supervise the other nonstop. That's not partnership, that's a system. And it brings up some tough questions. Is Gucci actually healing, or is he just being managed day to day? If Keyshia ever stepped back, would his life start falling apart all over again? What she's doing may protect him for now, but it could also be keeping him from learning how to protect himself. It's a fragile balance, and nobody knows how long it can hold. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment letting me know your thoughts. And I'll catch you in the next video.
I just took some time and watched that Gucci Mane and Keyshia Kaoir interview when they was on The Breakfast Club. And let me say this, Gucci Mane is gone. People used to joke about Gucci being a clone. Shit was funny. Went to jail, Gucci came back. Gucci ain't Gucci. No, Gucci ain't Gucci right now. I'm looking at the interview and he's reminding me of Wendy Williams, Britney Spears type shit. And his wife is definitely his handler. You gotta listen to wordplay. She said, I control his social media. I control the money. I control everything.
I have a system. I take his apps off his phone. First thing I do, I delete Instagram. I delete everything. Even if I got to change his password, I'm changing it. You realize you'd never know about any other episodes since September 13th because I control that. Because you're not going on Instagram, you're not going on Twitter, it's deleted. You know, and I just control everything at home. And now before the episodes come, I catch it.
A strong woman will definitely have an effect on a man changing. But Gucci, he not even speaking like Gucci. She talking over him. Gucci not even speaking for herself. Gucci is a wild boy. When y'all know Gucci to be like that, and it don't matter. Yo, this is what, it don't matter. I seen somebody say that Keyshia Kaoir put a love spell on Gucci. She did something to Gucci. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Gucci is being controlled right now. Look at when they was talking about the episode that happened on September 13th. We all know. Gucci said he don't even remember what happened. This woman says she can snap her fingers and Gucci will come back to normal. What type of shit is that? Or you heard the situation when she said Gucci will be quiet and she'll ask him why you not talking. He'll tell you, because I ain't got nothing to talk about. And she'll say, that's not how you talk to your wife. I know something is wrong now. What kind of shit is that? This lady said she called his attorneys, called bodyguards, and she planned a kidnap. What type of shit is that? But see, the shit gonna come out because, like I said in the beginning, Gucci is about to be the next Wendy Williams. Gucci is about to be the next Britney Spears. You heard it here first. I'm telling you, because this man is not the same person that he was. Mark my words.
And nobody can convince me that Keyshia Kaoir don't have Gucci Man rooted and motherfucking booted. Rooted and booted. All I saw was, I don't know what she practiced, but you know she's Jamaican, and a lot of Caribbean women, they be rooting and booting up they men. They be doing all types of craft services and spirit cooking. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down. They be doing that love work, that binding joint. Like, they be doing a lot. Like, I really feel like she's his handler as well. This is not to say that, you know, she's not helping him and she don't love him, but the way that I seen people going up in the comments, that's a handler spell root work type of situation that I picked up on. And also, I'ma need for black women to not think that that is love. Dealing with a man with mental health issues like that could be dangerous. It could be fatal. And it also drains you and sucks your life force. Yes, I'm sure she's saying for the bag and financial reasons, and I'm sure there's some real love there somewhere. But ultimately, it has a lot to do with money. Keeping up appearances, financial gain, funding her lifestyle of the heavy, you know, substance abuse by Gucci and mixed with her messing with his free will. I think that has a lot to do with why he's kind of flown over the cuckoo's nest. And this is not me mocking mental illness, but I do believe that, you know, if a person is putting that heavy work on you, it could fuck with your mental. Feeding you certain types of herbs. We don't know what the hell she's administering to that man. We don't know if she got him on some type of regimen of herbs. We don't know. And that's his wife. So she's the only one that could get closest to him. And she said, I'll take his phone, I'll delete the app. So what if he really probably needs help from the outside, like Nicki Minaj said? Nicki Minaj called her a handler. He ain't got nobody. She isolated him too. Y'all think about it. Y'all keep saying that's a wife. That's what a wife do. That's not just what a wife does. That's also what a witch does and what a handler does.